Starts now with breaking news.
Thanks for watching the news at 3. I'm Tyler Mannion. That breaking news, Leilani Simmon guilty on all 19 counts. The Chatham County mother now convicted of murdering her 20-month-old son, Quinton, in 2022. Our Shay Schrader was inside the courtroom every single day of this trial for the last 2 weeks. She joins us now live outside the Chatham County Courthouse. Shay, what can you tell us?
Tyler, this verdict came down less than 30 minutes ago, and it looks like the prosecutors are actually walking out right now. We can see Tim Dean, who secured this conviction, leaving the courthouse right now. Leilani Simmon found guilty on all 19 counts in that indictment. She has been found guilty on malice murder, 2 counts of felony murder, 1 count of concealing the death of another, and many other counts of making a false statement. And here is a look at the moment that Judge Stokes let the world know what Leilani Simmon's fate was.
As to the verdict, it reads as follows. We, the jury, find as follows: malice murder. We find the defendant guilty. Count 2, felony murder. We find the defendant guilty. Count 3, felony murder. We find the defendant guilty. Count 4, concealing the death of another. We find the defendant guilty. Count 5, false report of a crime. We find the defendant guilty. Count 6, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty.
The counts in that indictment were making a false statement counts. And again, Simmon has been found guilty on all 19 counts in that indictment. And this afternoon, we actually are hearing from Billy Howell, the defendant Leilani Simmon's mother, for the first time throughout the trial. She wasn't able to do an interview, but she did send a statement to WTOC that says, quote, "Our family is devastated and Quinton deserves justice. We want Quinton home so he can be laid to rest. I hate that I haven't been there for Leilani. We love her, but do not stand by any of this." Howell also expressing that she wants Quinton's remains so she is able to lay him to rest. Quinton's remains have been in the possession of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation ever since Simmon was arrested a little over 2 years ago now. Now, as for the sentencing in the Simmon case, that is going to come at a later date. As of right now, we do know again that she has been found guilty on all 19 counts of the indictment, and around 6 hours of deliberation by this jury that went through listening to 2 weeks of testimony. The prosecution calling almost 40 witnesses and presenting almost 100 pieces of evidence. Now, the defense never called any of their own witnesses to the stand. Simmon also declining to testify. The defense building their case mostly on the lack of physical evidence in the prosecution's case, but it looks like the evidence that they did have, both direct and circumstantial, was enough for the jury to say, yes, Simmon is guilty of killing her 20-month-old son and throwing his body in a dumpster. Now stick with WTOC throughout